way we do that is two things. Number one is people. When you talk to somebody at Grimco, when you meet somebody from Grimco, you're going to find out that you're dealing with some friendly people. So we try to be very personable. We're very selective in who we hire, and that really comes through in every interaction you're going to have. And the second thing is simply our processes. We are very efficient at what we do. We have the ability to get product to customers faster than just about anybody else in our industry across the country.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Rich Pulliam. He's the Regional Sales Manager at Grimco. Rich, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here. Yes.
Yeah, to have you. So Rich, why don't you start? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I have been in the sign and graphics and screen printing business, mostly on the wholesale distribution side for quite some time. I got started doing that in college. Went to work for a sign shop, and the guy that hired me told me that once you get into this business, you never get out. And I didn't believe him. I was wrong. He was right.
That's funny. Tell me a little bit more about, kind of how you got interested in Grimco and what you do at Grimco.
Sure. So I started out, like I said, working in a sign shop and ended up managing production in that sign shop. Decided that I really didn't want to be in manufacturing my whole life. So I moved over to a company called Midwest Sign and Screen, and that's a wholesale distributor for sign and graphic and screen printing products. And that company was acquired by Grimco several years ago. So I have spent my career in wholesale distribution and in the sign, graphic, screen printing, large format decoration market.
Interesting.
And still there and still working with customers in that space.
That's fantastic. So tell me a little bit more, about Grimco, the different products, things like that.
Sure. Grimco is a very large company. We have 55 locations in the US, more in Canada, more in Great Britain. We have some vertical integration with some manufacturing that we do. And we service sign shops, screen print shops all across the country. And we do that by selling them what they need to produce their products. So we are a supplier to that industry, and they lean on us to have the inventory that they need so that they can produce the products for their customers. We also do a significant amount of consulting with our customers, helping them on their process to make sure that we can provide solutions for them that help them be more efficient at what they do. And that's actually my passion, is to work with customers and improve their process. Along the way, I try to sell them a few things, keep the money flowing. But really my passion is to help them be much better at what they do.
I think that's fantastic. So, when we're talking about Grimco, the inventory, it sounds like, there's a lot of support that goes into a partnership between your clients. Are we talking, is it primarily like small to medium size shops? Is it larger shops? Talk to me about kind of who your client profile is.
It really is folks that are making signs, graphics, garment decoration, and doing it professionally. So we don't serve really the home-based business market at all. Mm-hmm. We work with shops that are in business, and that's how they make their living. And it really can be any size of shop. So it can be a sole proprietorship, one or two people working there, and those folks are a lot of fun to work with. They wear all the hats in the business, and you can have a business conversation with them about absolutely anything.
Yeah, and they're passionate about what they do too.
Absolutely. Yeah, they are passionate about what they do. The larger shops, it can be a manufacturing company that has 800 to 1,000 employees in this business. And we work with those folks as well. And it is, my core group of customers personally is really on the screen print side. It's garment decorators that, and this will mean something to the garment decorators that have somewhere between 1 and 8 automatic presses. Okay. And what that means is that they can produce anywhere between about 500 and 5,000 garments per hour. And that's it's a lot. So that's what we focus on. That's what I focus on anyway.
So, it sounds like there's, flexibility, there's a good partnership that Grimco really, works to incorporate. Tell me about how Grimco is really able to stand out from its competition.
So the way we do that is two things. Number one is people. When you talk to somebody at Grimco, when you meet somebody from Grimco, you're going to find out that you're dealing with some friendly people. So we try to be very personable. We're very selective in who we hire, and that really comes through in every interaction you're going to have. And the second thing is simply our processes. We are very efficient at what we do. We have the ability to get product to customers faster than just about anybody else in our industry across the country. And that is something that we've been passionate about for some time, and it continues to grow. Grimco's not new to this industry. Grimco started in 1875. So there is a long history of serving customers in this market space.
Wow, that's a very long time. So I imagine over the years, Grimco, I mean, I know you can't attest to back in the 1800s what that growth looked like.
Thank you.
I know that. But, talk to me, I know you mentioned that Grimco acquired the company that you were working with before. Talk to me a little bit about kind of what you've heard about the growth of Grimco and then the growth that you've personally seen since that company that you were with was acquired.
Yeah, Grimco, if you wind the clock back about 25 years, was primarily focused on the local St. Louis market and on manufacturing signs. And by that, I mean that they were manufacturing street signs and stop signs, those sorts of things, very efficiently, very professionally, and then saw the opportunity in the marketplace to really grow the distribution part of that. So they were small distributors 25 years ago, looked around and said, we can do a good job of this. And that's really when the growth trajectory kicked off. And it has been some fairly quick growth. The company I used to work for, if you wind the clock back 15 years ago, was probably twice the size of Grimco. And now Grimco has outstripped that by a factor of more than 10. So it's been an interesting growth trajectory to watch as somebody who's been around the business for a while, and I'm actually very impressed and very proud of what Grimco's done. It is a very well-run company and has a passion for taking care of customers, which makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. No, certainly it does. And, I'm curious, like you said, you've been in the industry for some time now. Are there any common misconceptions that you tend to hear, whether it be from clients or anything like that? Not necessarily about, it could be about Grimco, but about, the industry in general?
I think some of the biggest misconceptions about our industry is that it's all about billboards or all about stop signs. And if you are in the environment and just walking around a city, you'll see graphics on windows. You'll see people walking by with decorated garments. You'll see a shampoo bottle, for example, that has printing on it. All of that comes from the customers that we work with. Okay, so it is really, I like to call it more the durable decoration market, because it is not printing on paper most of the time, which is not very durable. You print on paper, that tends to be recycled pretty quickly. If you're printing on something other than paper that's designed to last a long time, that's where we fit in. And it can be anything from teeny tiny stuff, circuit boards, on up to literally billboards. So it's a much broader industry than a lot of people realize.
Durable decorations. I love that. I think that's so creative. That's great. That's great. Well, Rich, I think this has been a great conversation. As we start to wrap up, where can people go to learn more about Grimco?
Grimco.com. So it's GRIMCO.com. And you'll find a whole bunch of information there. And if you want to reach out to me directly, you can do that as well. And it's pretty simple. It's rich.pulliam@grimco.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Well, Rich, this has been a great conversation. As we start to wrap up, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with, either about the industry, about durable decorations, about Grimco, anything, or advice in general? Anything you want to leave our listeners with?
the thing that I always like to remind everybody of is business is all about people. And it is so important, if you own a business, to take good care of your people, to listen to your people. And if you are interacting with somebody in a business, keep in mind that that customer service person is a person, you know. So I try to go around and talk about how we should be kinder to each other in general, and that is in your personal life and also in business. And I have found that being yourself and being kind gets you a lot further in almost every situation. So
Completely agree.
there's my uncle advice, I guess you would call it.
I love it. I love it. Well, Rich, like I said, this has been a terrific, very insightful conversation. I appreciate, telling me about the growth of Grimco, what you've seen, all the different ways that you're able to support your clients. Sales, obviously is near and dear to my heart, but, being most importantly, being customer centric. And it sounds like, that certainly comes through the passion of your voice and Grimco as, as a company. So I really appreciate you being on Business Ninjas today.
Well, thank you, Kelsey. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to continuing the conversation on podcasts.
Yeah, great to have you.